All right, let's see how this goes. Well, hello, hello, hello. Let's see who all shows up. I see someone is here. All right, let's see how. Jamie Stevenson. I've seen your name so many times throughout the last 100 days. I really gotta thank you for being around, man. I'm gonna let some people show up first. I'm gonna wait a few minutes before I just start doing stuff. I did say 8 o'clock. We'll see what's going on. I have this card out because I do not. I have not received from the live stream the bootlegger stash that I have for the challenge, but I do have one, and I'm just gonna use this as a sit-in for it. Ooh, we got people. People are starting to show up. I'm looking forward to this a bunch. Let's put this right here. Put this in here somewhere. We'll go through this in a moment. Let's see who all shows up. Boom and boom. Hold on. I have been enjoying. Ooh. Hello, everybody. Well, I'm glad that you've been enjoying it. It's been quite a fun time putting it together. Okay, well, it's not working here, but it's working elsewhere, which is important. All right, top messages one. I want this up. I want this over here. Tanaka, no, that bootlegger is not the foiled one. The foiled bootlegger stash is going to be coming in the mail here soon. I will be looking forward to seeing that when it happens. I'd like to see who all shows up for this. I don't expect for us to have a lot of people here. I do hope to give this to someone that is looking forward to playing it more than I am. I'm not a big fan of foils, so I'm really hoping someone enjoys this more than me because, mm, I mean, dude, you've been counting down with me for how long? How could I not say something? You were one of the people I look forward to the most when going through that short. I saw you every single time counting down. It was, ugh, chef's kiss. From building Deadpool, okay, so first I want to know what your favorite card is from the new Deadpool deck. Second, I have this feeling that when he enters, he's going to start, like, taking over things. If you put a Torpor Orb in the deck, get rid of the Torpor Orb after Deadpool comes out. Oh no, you're losing 3 life. Just start copying him a bunch so you can make your opponents have multiple Deadpools or the effect of them losing 3 life during your upkeep. That's the idea that I thought with Deadpool. I thought it would be really funny to do that, but that's just me. But while I'm here, thank you for the few people who have shown up. I'm really looking forward to this deck in particular. I'm going to be updating my YouTube at this point in time with the Discord, my Discord channel, so you guys can add to it, and whoever the first few people are to join in on that will get to play up against the Mimeoplasm first, because, you guys have been wanting it, and I look forward to playing you guys with it. I think it's going to be an awesome deck to play. So let's go here. Let's go back. Server settings? Nope, not server settings. I did not mean to exit out of Discord. Let's exit out of this. Let's go to copy here. Didn't use copy. I figured the countdown would help you know that people enjoy your content as well as it may help you if you were having a bad day. Well, Jamie, I was having a lot of bad days at the beginning of this, and I'm getting past that, very much so, and you were one of the people who did help me out the most. Even if it was just the numbers, it really did help me. And Mike built a Mimeo, built a mill of my opponents, and tried to make the best amalgamation of creatures that I could. Didn't work very well. I remember when the Mimeoplasm first came out. I started back in 2011 in Innistrad. It was a little bit before all of the pre-con commanders came out. I didn't actually get that specific one. I did acquire a Mimeoplasm. It's actually the same exact Mimeoplasm that I am using for the challenge. This is my original deck. I used a bunch of copy creatures, so whatever powerful creature was on the field when I cast the Mimeoplasm, I just enter as a copy creature with way too many 1/1 counters on it, and it would just be big. The other creature that I enjoyed the most was Consuming Aberration, because that card helped put way too many cards in the graveyard for me. Granted, there wasn't a lot of good stuff out at the time. Like Sylvan Primordial was not banned, so I would just start blowing things up and I'd have way too many forests on the field. I'm going to put this up off to the side over here for later, for when people actually start doing stuff. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to start setting this deck out to what I am looking for whenever I'm building a deck. So I will say that these first 5 cards are going to be automatically cut no matter what, because they're red. I can't use these red cards in my deck as much as I'd like to. The Temple is just nice, but I can't scry with a red land in a non-red deck. The same thing with this draw spell, this sack outlet draw spell, this draw spell, and it was my creatures gained menace. It was kind of a way for me to have a more difficult time for my opponents to block. The Big Score and the Highway Robbery both basically said discard a card, draw 2. And it's something I could not look past. And when I was first building this, I was thinking about building Lord Xander and this Stormclaw Rager. He's a sack outlet and a draw spell. I mean, I can only do it at sorcery speed, but he continued to get bigger and bigger. But, you know, there's only so much that I can do with that. I really need to do something about this light. Let's go down. Boom. That might help a little bit. So these 5 are going to automatically get cut, and maybe you guys could coerce me into using some other cards from all of the draft chaff, because I have it all put together. I plan on building a second deck with that, because there's plenty of cards there for me to be able to build that, and I greatly look forward to it. Now for my non-basic lands, I do have a good set of them. I don't have like the greatest set, but we'll go through them. I do have, for multicolor, I have Thornwood Falls, Golgari Guildgate, and River of Tears, and then 2 more green-blue lands with the Quandrix Campus and the Simic Guildgate. I can't believe I couldn't say Campus. Reflecting Pool is just going to be great because I should be able to produce my colors. Evolving Wilds, it's going to go get me whatever color I need at that point in time. It's going to be very helpful. This Inventor's Fair, I'm going to be a bit iffy on it. I do have some creatures in the deck that give me treasures, but I'm really hoping that it's going to go help me do other things, but I don't know if it's going to get me anything great. It could get me a sack outlet with my Witch's Cauldron in my 1-drop slot, or my Hulking Metamorph. It's a 9-drop copy spell that gives me a bunch of counters with a Mimeoplasm, or it's a 4-cost copy a creature or artifact, which I will always love to play. Copy spells are my favorite thing to do in Magic because they take the best thing on the field and it helps you. Odawara, I remember you guys being there, and I'm like, I'm looking to open up a land from Neon Dynasty, and it gave me some nice control that I almost underappreciated. I think I would have preferred the black one, Takenuma, over this. Not a Boseiju. A Boseiju would have just been awesome, but the Takenuma would have been significantly better, milling me and returning a creature from my graveyard to my hand because I'm going to be putting a lot in my yard. And then I have a Rivendell. If I have my commander out, I have the capability to scry too. I don't see anything wrong with that. I feel like it's a good choice. This is all of my non-basic lands in the deck. It's not much, but we will get there. Odawara is S tier, Mike. I know. It is such a good card. I still would have liked the Takenuma over it because Takenuma does a little bit more for me, but this is just too good to pass up. You're right. I'm going to put these off to the side because I don't need these in a major pile. So I usually put things out in mana value order, 1 to 7 plus, because that is how I've always seen it. Now, I would like to say there is a specific creature in the deck we are not going to be capable of cutting. No matter how hard you try to convince me, no matter how hard you do it. The Rhystic Study is in the pile. It will be here. I would like to talk to you guys about building 2 different style decks. One as a bracket 2 where I take the Rhystic Study out and I put something else in, and then a bracket 3 where I use the Rhystic Study because it's a Rhystic Study. I really hope that you guys understand that. So I'm going to start putting things out by mana value so we can see what we have to work with. Honestly, this Spectral Sailor is going to be a little bit of a card that people aren't going to expect to be as good because of that 4 mana draw a card. I think it's just going to be awesome. Let's see how this comes out. Boom. Hey, look. This Skithiryx is going to be so funny. One of my homies was looking at me while I was building this and like, dude, I hope you pull a Skithiryx because that would be some of the funniest stuff that you could possibly put in the deck to just do like. I'm not a big fan of Infect because it's kind of like a cheap way to win the game, but Infect chose me. You guys were there for it. I can't argue with it. Now, this is the creature I'm talking about that we cannot cut. This is the card I'm looking to play the most because it is from the worst set in Magic. Marshhan. It's a 7-drop for an 8/8. I'm looking to remove someone from the game with this with way too many counters on it because it's a sack outlet on a dude. Yeah, it allows me to finally untap him, but this thing is just so bad. I need to win this. While I was building this, well, one of my homies looked at me and I'm like, yo, dude, I need a pack to do for the day. And he handed me the 1 pack of Homelands that he had. And being the worst set in Magic, Wizards put out an apology a long time ago when it came out because of how bad it was. This card is the only card that I will not cut from the deck because I have to do the thing with it. Jalira, Master Polymorph, probably one of my favorite legendaries in Magic. Polymorph, the card specifically, is my favorite card in Magic. It turns just about anything into anything else. So, like creature-wise, it helps get rid of something small, put it into the graveyard to help me make the Mimeoplasm bigger, or gives me a new copy creature for the Mimeoplasm for it to enter the battlefield and give me other effects. Kind of like the Jewel Thief. I'm not going to copy the Jewel Thief with the Mimeoplasm. I'm more likely just use it as 1/1 counters, but, you know, we can see what happens. Here's that artifact, the Hulking Metamorph. It's 7 1/1 counters or a 4-drop to copy anything. I thought it was too good to pass up for the other things that were going along in that pack. Dawn-Treader Elk from my homie Custard. Get that mana ramp the difficult way. Gotta pay for it. Pay for it the hard way. Urg, Spawn of Turd. He just has a really cool name. Voracious Vermin. That Vorinclex, baby. I remember when I pulled this. When I first started this build, I thought I was going to go red, blue, black because it was just what I was doing. But every single pack that I opened kept telling me to go green for some reason. And then I pulled an Ozolith just at some point in time, like in the early 30s. I just passed it up because I didn't think that I was going to be able to use it because I didn't have a lot of 1/1 synergies outside of the Mimeoplasm. Then, like 5 or 6 packs later, I pulled the Vorinclex, and I got real upset that I did not take the Ozolith earlier. For all of those of you thinking about it, this bootlegger stash is not the foil one that I got in the live stream. That one is still in the mail. I took this out of my Treasures deck, Jolene the Plunder Queen, to use as a stand-in until that one comes in. I'm not a big fan of using foils because they pringle and you can tell where they are, but for the challenge, I needed the authenticity of a bootlegger stash in the pile so you guys have the visual representation of the card. And here's that Rhystic Study, baby. Oh, it was so nice to pull. I can officially say I've pulled a Rhystic Study, and that's not something everyone gets to say. It's not from the pack Prophecy, which I would have probably soiled myself. Soiled it! Because it's a Rhystic Study. Everyone dreams of that happening. And not very many people have it happen to them. Lost in the Maze. I remember when I pulled this card, I thought it was completely just like bare bones, not that great, and then a bunch of people in the chat told me that this card is a lot better than I expected it to be. So I'm really hoping that it does the work that we deserve. Here's a Cryptolith Rite, Font of Fertility. Now, I do need you guys to know, it's going to be very weird not having a Soul Ring in a deck. I don't know how I'm going to be doing without it. Mike, I mean, I gotta agree with you a little bit on the Desecration Demon, 6 counters and unplayable, but I had to take something from the pack, and a 6/6 that told me my opponents keep sacrificing creatures for the Mimeoplasm to possibly copy or get counters from just seemed a little too good to pass up. Now, I could be wrong about that because, you know, I make mistakes, but I thought that the continuous sack outlet for my opponents and the 1/1 counters that I could get from it were something that I should be playing. I'm really looking forward to this card, Elminster Simulacrum. I never got to see it up until I pulled this, and I think this thing is going to do work. Duel for Dominance. I did open 2 packs from the 90s because they were the only ones I had access to. And that was the Homelands that came out in 1995, and later on in the year in 1995, Ice Age came out, and I pulled this counterspell from it that I'm also looking forward to because I'm playing blue. It's a counterspell. How could you say no to it? Beast Within, always a great kill spell. Destruction, removal. This Archmage's Charm. I feel like that's going to be an easy cut with the triple blue and using mostly basics to get me the things that I need. Having 3 blue mana, even 2 blue mana is not going to be easy because like 2 blue counterspell, 2 blue Narset's Reversal, 2 blue Nullify. Nullify also says counter target, I want that in your graveyard for the Mimeoplasm to copy. That's what I saw as that. I mean, it's not what I originally saw. Someone in the chat said that, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. Look at all of these 2-drops and 3-drops. Holy crap. I do like that it's not going to be, like, most of my cuts are going to be from down here. But, here we go. This is a big pile. This is a big pile. All the other piles seem pretty good at this point in time. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. So functionally, we gotta cut 20 cards. 84 will go to 64, 64 will give us 35 lands because the Mimeoplasm will be number 65. So we need to cut 20 cards from this pile to really help us move forward. Now, there are some like easy ones and some non-easy ones here. I'm going to move a few of these over because you guys have a hard time seeing all of the 2-drops. I think anything that sacrifices itself for value or otherwise puts stuff in your yard should be auto ads. I agree to that. The Cankerbloom and the Thrashing Brontoton are both cards that do that. Dawntrader Elk is the exact same thing. The Cankerbloom and the Thrashing Brontoton are going to be my cards that help remove artifacts and enchantments. The Cankerbloom could also proliferate, like my commander, make it just a little bit bigger. And I'm really hoping that the synergy there is really helpful. The other cards that can sacrifice themselves, Eldritch Evolution helps me get something bigger. So let's say I sack a 4-drop, I could go get that Vorinclex that I'm looking for. So I want to start at the top end because usually that's where I go to whenever I'm looking to make cuts or look at stuff. How do you guys feel about this End-Raze Forerunners? When it enters the battlefield, it gives +2/+2 Vigilance and Trample. I already have Finale of Green. And I feel like this one's going to be doing a lot more. I mean, yeah, I could Finale for the End-Raze, but I don't believe that the End-Raze Forerunners is as good of a card, because usually I'd rather just get the Copy Spell or the Vorinclex. I actually don't have many creatures up here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures up here in the tall area. Oh, yes, Jamie, I'm definitely putting in the Counterspell. The Counterspell is definitely going to be played because it puts creatures into my yard for me to be able to get my creatures big or fun in the way of removing my opponents. I'm not 100% sure about this, again, these End-Raze Forerunners. It does cool things, but I don't have a lot of creatures to be able to do the thing, and it only gives +2/+2 Vigilance and Trample. That's how I feel it. Yeah, see, I thought the exact same thing. Now, I know that I got a really beautiful one, but a lot of people said that the Bootlegger Stash is just a win more card, and it is one of the top 2 cards that I go get with Inventor's Fair, the land that I have. Like, I could see myself getting the treasures to get the artifact synergy, but I don't really see it as a big... I'm looking to hopefully get 35 lands. I'm looking to cut 20 cards from this. That will get me to 64 cards and 35 lands. I could probably go a little less on the cards and more on the mana because I don't have a lot of non-basics or whatnot. Built my first and so far only Commander deck a couple weeks ago. Even though I have been watching Commander for years, it's pretty fun to play, and thanks for the series to encourage me to make it. Chest of Treasures, I really like that. I remember, actually, the Mimeoplasm was my first real deck that did anything. It would copy the card Consuming Aberration a bunch of times, whenever I cast a spell, each of my opponents would mill until they hit a land, and put all those into my graveyard. Sometimes I'd get at least +3/+3 out of every cast, or way more. I think like the most I've ever gotten was like +30 in one cast, and it would just be devastating. That's usually how I did it. Otherwise, my very first deck I've ever built was Kresh the Bloodbraided. Did not do well. I still have a hard time putting them together because you have to put a bunch of pieces together, but I'm really looking forward to this guy doing the stuff. So, but back to the Bootlegger Stash, like you guys said, this is just a win more card. It does a lot of good stuff, but it doesn't do anything for me in my deck. It just produces me a bunch of mana on the thought of I'm losing a turn of mana to get there. I'm not doing anything artifact synergizing besides the land Inventor's Fair. Those are like the first 2 cards that I would cut. I think they're just okay other than that. The Tastiger is in my colors and is going to put more stuff in my yard and help me exile some things I don't want in there to help me get other things. The Vorinclex, I really hope I don't need to explain. Ooh, you mean a 99 pack challenge? Because you get to choose who your commander is? I know that there's like the 100 pack, but with 100 packs, you could possibly pull your commander in, instead of just trying to go with what I did, but putting the commander on top, because you're not guaranteed to pull a legendary creature. Yeah, I did pull some legendaries like the Tassiger and the Sidisi. I just happened to get lucky with both of those. I did also pull a Ginny Fae. I did pull... I don't remember if I got any other 3-color legendaries. I know I got some 2 colors, like the Seed of Varma Masked Racer, but I actually took that because she's going to be pretty good. She is another version of kind of like the Finale or the End-Race Forerunners with a bunch of mana to be able to dump into. Yeah, I agree, Mike. I don't think that the token doubling... I don't have any token doubling in this deck, so the Bootlegger stash is kind of just about that. As for the other end of my top, the other part of my top end, the Season of Weaving is going to be a great... It's my board wipe of the deck. I don't have a real other one besides Call to the Void, but this thing isn't a real board wipe. It just gets rid of some things. It doesn't get rid of all of the things. The Elminster Simulacrum, I just think it's funny and I want to do stuff with it. I do have a feeling that it's going to be one of those high cards that I don't see a lot of, and it might get cut for that reason. So, but we'll get there. For 5-drops, so this Call to the Void, each player secretly chooses a creature they control and a creature they don't control. Then those choices are revealed. Destroy each creature chosen this way. This gets rid of several things. So, for a 4-player pod, this gets rid of up to 4 creatures that are a problem. Now, it's secretly. In a game of Casual Commander, which is probably what I'm going to be playing, it is more likely for us to be able to talk about it, unless someone's all like, no, we gotta be real secretive about it. I mean, it's politics, we could talk about it. But I'm just like, I needed a board wipe at the time, and this got rid of multiple problems for me, even though it's not an actual board wipe. So this may get it, but we'll talk about it later because I still have a lot of 2-drops and 3-drops to go through because I thought I had a lot of 3-drops in the deck. Apparently, I had more 2-drops than 3-drops in here. Monstrous Onslaught. I think this thing's going to be awesome. It gets rid of a bunch of creatures, but my Mimeoplasm is looking to be redonkulously good. Redonkulously big as well. It's going to deal X damage as I choose among any number of target creatures, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control when I cast it. This Mimeoplasm is going to be huge. What's up, Steve? The Mimeoplasm is going to be huge, so the Monstrous Onslaught's a 5-drop. I could get rid of 1 creature, 6 creatures. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Call to the Void. Jamie, you'd recommend Call to the Void? I'm going to take your advice on it, and hopefully it does the things that I'm looking for. This Time Warp, I like playing an extra turn spell in all of my decks that I can, because it says I'm looking to win that turn. I'm not trying to cheat and do a bunch of extra turns, whatnot. My best option for that is going to be this Repository Scab, but I have to keep sacrificing a creature to be able to get the extra turns as much as I want. Which, I really hope I do get a bunch of turns with it, because that would be, I have to sacrifice a creature to be able to get there. Maybe that sacrifice creature will get me a detrimental play with the Mimeoplasm to be able to help me move forward. Now, when I was early building this and I saw this creature, I thought it was awesome. It's a 5/3 flyer that slowly gets bigger, and it's a sack outlet whenever I attack. It gets bigger itself, and it draws me cards whenever I sacrifice another non-token creature. Now, the non-token part is kind of just like, but I can't win all of it there. Dire Wolf? I don't have a Dire Wolf in here, unfortunately. It is not something of which I pulled. Are you talking about the Meyer Boa, Don Burgess? Oh, wait, hold on. I know what you're talking about. I've been eaten by one of those in D&D before, and not a fan. I think you were the person who DM'd that, or was that an ogre who ate my face? Will you remind me of that? I'm pretty sure it was an ogre who ate me, just like took a chunk right out of my skull, because I was doing something I shouldn't have. You know, rolling dice and doing dumb stuff. So, guys, I don't think this Peregrine Drake actually belongs in here. Yes, 5 mana, 2/3 flyer. When it enters, I untap 5 lands. But I don't have a lot of ways to just abuse that. I don't have a reanimate for 1 mana to bring it back out to float the extra 4. I don't have other ways to abuse this, so I think this Peregrine Drake's actually going to get cut because of those things. It was a Dire Ogre. Ugh, I do remember that. Was it Axlor Doxlor? I'm pretty sure that's what my first character's name was. But do you guys agree on the Peregrine Drake? It doesn't really do enough for me in my deck. This Icefall Regent, when it enters, tap a creature, and that creature doesn't untap for as long as you control Icefall Regent. This just takes care of a really big problem. If someone's playing Voltron, someone could just have a really, really, really big dude out, and this says, hey, no. And it has a ghetto version of Ward. I mean, it doesn't say it counters it, you have to spend the 2 mana more, but a 4/3 flyer that says, hey, you have to pay 2 mana to touch me, I feel like that's a good thing. And then, for this last part of the 5 drops, Skittles, really don't think I need to explain myself here. It's Skithrix. He has haste on him. 6 mana the first time I copy it with the Mimeoplasm. I'll pay 5 to the Mimeo, play it black, and then just remove someone from the game. That is the combo I'm looking at here. Custard, I'm looking at you first, if you see this. Or when you see this. I'm looking at you. Now, I'm going to look at my 4 drops here. I feel like I'm going to have a few more. Ooh, talk about 5 drops. I forgot 2 of them here. Apparently, I don't know how to read. My other 2, Quicksilver Geyser. Return up to 2 non-land permanents to their owner's hands. This says non-land permanent. Now, I do have Sink into Stupor and my land Odawara. This gets rid of an artifact, creature, enchantment, or walker. I can't... That's basically all the non-land permanents. Because then you have instant... It doesn't get rid of battles. That's what this doesn't get rid of. So I kind of feel like this isn't going to make the cut because of other reasons, like Beast Within. I mean, Beast Within's just a great card there. Counterspell, Narset's Reversal are also things that can help me with the shenanigizing of playing it. So I think that this is going to get cut because of that. It just seems underwhelming for the amount of mana. Jamie, I agree with the Peregrine Drake, but as soon as someone sees the Peregrine Drake, they're going to think I'm going to start doing dumb stuff, and it's going to be a problem for me to be targeted because I don't have a lot of ways to defend myself from a lot of hard targeting outside of just hard casting stuff, and I don't want to be seen as much of a problem as other people think I am. A lot of these cards really don't say I'm a big problem besides the Rhystic Study, Counterspell, Vorinclex, Time Warp. I do have a few cards that say, hey, look at me, but this card's also going to say that because, you know, I'm playing black. I could bring it back a bunch of times. I can see where the Quicksilver Geyser is good against other creature decks, but I can't really see why it would be played heavily for these things. And then my last one is Coerce to Kill. I can gain control of a creature, but it turns into a 1/1 Death Touch and an Assassin. It doesn't get rid of the creature. Yes, this stops a creature from being able to do things against me, so I'm pretty sure that this thing's going to be cut as well because it's not doing enough for me against my opponents. It's just taking something for a while, and that's about it. Now, let's look at my 4 drops. This Repository Scab is going to return any of my instant and sorceries from my graveyard to my hand, like the Time Warp, Season of Weaving, Elements through Simulacrum, Counterspell, Anticipate. This thing is just going to do work. Beast Within and Murder. This is going to do far more. It's one of my few recursion spells to get stuff back. I don't have a lot of like target permanent or target card from my graveyard, so I'm going to need to keep that. The Deep Analysis is I thought was a good draw spell because I can pay 4 to draw 2, or I can pay 2 and 3 life to draw 2 more cards. I love bounce spells too, Mike. It's just I don't think it's going to be enough of a card for me to actually respectfully play it because 5 mana, no way to make it cost less unless I'm copying something of an opponent's. It's just, it doesn't do enough. But the Deep Analysis, it's a draw spell. I play 4-drop draw spells all the time. If I was playing red, you bet I would be playing this big score because draw 2, get 2 treasures. It says draw 2, give me the ability to draw 2 more. So, I'm a big fan of it. Heathen Archive, everyone plays Mind Stone. This is a double Mind Stone. This is going to be awesome. I mean, yeah, the Quicksilver Geyser could stop things, but, like, the Quicksilver Geyser is an instant. It does do that. It's a 5-mana instant that I cannot reduce, though, is the thing. And as for instants to being able to get rid of stuff, I have March of Swirling Mist down here. I do have... Let's look. Lost in the Maze, I believe, has Flash. Let's look at this. Lost in the Maze has Flash, and it can tap X creatures and put a stun counter on each of them. And tap creatures I control have Hexproof. You know, I didn't really read that second line for the first few times I've gone through that, and I feel like that second line is really going to do me work when I'm swinging with the Mimeoplasm and seeing as he's sideways, and now that he has Hexproof, it's going to make him a lot easier for... Oh, yes, your god, Darren, it's 5 mana. Never mind. That's exactly what I thought. For other 4-drops, I do have this Forgotten Ancient. How many spells are y'all gonna... Are we going to cast? He's just gonna slowly get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the Mimeoplasm is either going to really like it, or it's just gonna be a card that people don't want to swing into. Yeah, Mike, 5 mana is definitely too much for this, unless I have ways to make it reduce far by a lot, but I don't have that capability here. Sidisi Brood Tyrant, I don't need to explain myself. It mills, it puts creatures in my yard. Whenever a creature is put into my yard from my library, I get a 2/2 zombie, so I have extra chump blockers. Or it can help me get a little bit wider for the Finale of Green that I have over here that is... Gorgeous is definitely an understatement for the things that have going on here. Now, when I grabbed this Josu Vest Lich Knight, all of these zombies also help me with the Finale of Devastation idea where I have a bunch of 2/2s, but 4 and 10 mana, I'm going to put it here, but it's going to be in the maybe pile because I do have this Cryptolith right here that could give me way too much mana to know what to do with, and that Cryptolith right could also say I am getting the mana that I need to activate this and get a bunch of mana for the turn afterwards. My problem with the Cryptolith right and this going together is I don't have haste. Unless I steal it from someone else with the Mimeoplasm or the Hulking Metamorph, I don't see this being as good of a card as it is showing, at least in my eyes. Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking with the Sidisi, is to slowly build an army for all of my people to just clock my opponents in the face. And the good thing about these 2/2 zombies that I'm talking about, this Jalira Master Polymorphous, my favorite legendary in Magic. I love the card Polymorph. It is my favorite card in Magic. It is not a good card, but it is a funny card. And this does it on a legendary creature. It's also a sack outlet that turns into a bigger creature and puts creatures into my yard for the Mimeoplasm. I just thought it was too good for what I am looking to build here. So I'm going to be keeping her in. Now, these next 2 4-drops I'm a little iffy on because they don't have enough of effects for me to use. Here's this Horizon Chimera. It's a Flash Flying Trample. A Flying Trample 3/2 was the part that I was having a hard time looking past. Flying, already difficult to block. Trample. Oh, Tanaka, I won't forget about the haste for the Cryptolith right. It's the Flying Trample with the Horizon Chimera. I don't have a lot of cards besides the Rhystic Study that say draw a bunch of cards, so the second line of text is not very formidable in this aspect. It's the 3/2 flying trample, but then again, I don't think that it's powerful enough for me to genuinely be able to play. So I'm also going to put it down here with Josu Vest. Josu has been very underwhelming for me. It's only good if you have a ton of mana and if it's in your hand to be cast. That's exactly what I think. 10 mana to get 9 creatures on the field, yeah, that is a great rate, especially with 8 of them being 2/2s and one of them being a 4/5 menace. Wait, even the tokens have menace. But you have to have 10 mana and 3 of it being black. And with not a lot of ways for me to produce black mana in my non-basic lands, I feel like it's probably going to get cut for those reasons. And me playing 35 lands with this being all of my above 3 mana, I feel pretty good about that. I just also feel like I might have a lot of dead stuff going on in hand since I don't have a lot of high costing stuff. So my tempo may be a bit off by that. Bragenborn, that sounds absolutely mean. Now, when I built Jalira, I wanted to take my friend's creatures and then sacrifice them to get my own benefits. I would get, not Memnarch, I'd get Quicksilver Gargantuan, so I'd have a big 7/7 copy creature come out and I'd copy something. I'd get a Stormtide Leviathan, so anything without flying or Island Walk couldn't attack. Platinum Angel says I can't lose the game. Platinum Empyrean says my life total can't change. But unfortunately, nowadays, this mono blue deck isn't as powerful as it used to be, and I don't have it anymore. It's sad. But yes, I do want to swing out. I do want the ability to win with commander damage with the Mimeoplasm, and Josu Vest does give me the idea of I could possibly win going wide, and that's not something I should just ignore. Desecration Demon, what I like about this is my opponents can sacrifice a creature of theirs that I could copy with the Mimeoplasm, or I can get 6/1/1 counters with the Mimeoplasm. Yes, Steve, the Cryptolith Rite definitely could help out with this, depending on the creatures that I have out. Especially with some of them, whenever I sacrifice them, I don't need to tap them. The Dawntrider Elk, the Tinkerbloom, and the Thrashing Brontodon, I do not have to tap to activate their abilities. I just have to pay 1 mana into them, which I could pay 1 mana to themselves to sacrifice them to do the thing with them, which I gives me the giggles. Are you saying cut the Desecration Demon, Kadari? Is that what you're saying here? Because I'll definitely be cutting this. It seems a little underwhelming because it's a 6/6 flyer that has a very negative from my opponents. So then let's see what happens. I'm gonna put this over here. I'm gonna put the Horizon Chimera over in the thing. I'm gonna leave Josu Vest here because he has a higher capability than these 2 4-drops. Yeah, okay. So let's go to the 3-drop pile. This one is the second biggest pile. I thought I was playing 3-drops deck, but when I finished here, I had more 2-drops than 3s. So we're going to go over this one at a time to see the cards or whatnot. Eldritch Evolution. This is going to be bonkers in here. It's going to put something in my yard. It's going to get me something way bigger back out. It's basically an auto-include at this point in time because of obvious reasons. This card is just too good. Now, same thing with this Victimize. This is going to return some things back from my graveyard. This would probably be the only... Is this the only card that I could see doing well? Yes. This is the only card here I could see doing exceptionally well. Wait. Besides Geth here, they're both 3-drops that bring a creature back. The Geth says I'm going to be losing that creature no matter what, but these would be the 2 cards I could combo in some ways with the Peregrine Drake. Otherwise, you're good. Paxi, you're not crazy late. We're still in the middle of building. I'm going through the deck right now, and I have a small pile. But I really like the Victimize, and I really like this Geth Thane of Contracts because 3 mana to return something. That creature stays until a board wipe and that creature gets or whatnot. Yes, Mike. Eldritch Evolution is definitely going to get played here. It's a sack outlet. It's a tutor. and it helps me get things out. I'm hoping to sacrifice one of my 4-drop creatures to go get a Vorinclex, or maybe even bigger. So guys, I think this is going to be the easiest 3-drop here to cut. I like the thought of that, Darren. It's definitely something of which I will keep in mind while putting this together, because the Horizon Chimera, it's the flying trample part. Trample is not something I should ignore. But I'm pretty sure this Archmage's Charm is going to get cut because it's more just a counterspell or draw 2 cards than anything, and for 3 blue it's quite difficult for me to leave up without having the options. Alright. Beast Within. Target permanent. This gets rid of Glacial Chasm. I definitely see that card as, yes, it may be a game changer, and since I have Rhystic Study in the deck, which I'm just going to put here right now, I don't need to explain that, but while it's here, I would like to find a card where if I were to cut this, I would be using something else. I do need you guys to think about that, so when I want to play a Bracket 2 deck, I can change the Rhystic Study to something else, or if I'm playing Bracket 3, I can just leave the Rhystic Study in. But Beast Within, I don't think I need to explain that. 1 green mana to get rid of the biggest problem of mine on the field. Murder. Target creature. This is what I liked about it, but do I need 2 black removal spells that do something? This one gets rid of a thing that I care about, but so does the Beast Within. The Soul Shatter gets rid of something from each of my opponent. Yeah, Mike, that's exactly why I'm cutting the charm. The triple blue is not enough for me to actually be able to say, hey, I need to be playing this. But I don't think I need both of these kill spells in here because one gets rid of a bunch of things. I can't really target them, but this one gets rid of a target. Beast Within gets rid of a target. Grasp of Darkness gets rid of a target. Lost in the Maze will tap something down. March of Swirling Mist will exile something. So I do have other options other than the Murder. I think I'm going to drop the Murder because it just gets rid of 1 creature, while the Soul Shatter will get rid of more than 1 creature. It may not be the creature I'm hoping for, but the Call to the Void will definitely get rid of the thing that I at least want to get rid of, since I am keeping that overwards. So I'm going to cut the Murder for that reason. I know people have had very big creatures come this way, and I feel like the Murder should be less than a maybe, but the Polymorphous Jest, this card has saved me a multitude of times. It turns everything into 1/1 frogs. I've definitely removed indestructible creatures with this, and I do know that some indestructible creatures are going to be a problem to deal with, and this is something that's going to be easy to get through. Sink into Stupor. It's better than the Murder. It's going to return something. It's also a Ghetto counterspell. It's not countering it, it's returning it to their hands, but it's forcing them to do it one more time. And that is the important piece here. That is what I'm really looking forward to that. Now, these next 3 cards I'm going to be just keeping because Mana Rock that lets me have a very, very bad version of a draw spell attached to it, and a Mana Rock. I don't have a lot of mana acceleration, so these 3-drop artifacts, kind of hard to say no to. If I were to say no to one of them, it'd be the Magnifying Glass being a colorless card instead of it being colored, but it also produces clues that I could sacrifice and draw if or when I have too much mana. This next card I thought was pretty cheeky, Unhallowed Pact. It allows me to sacrifice something I'm going to sacrifice anyways, and have it re-enter the battlefield to do something. And yes, Stupor does take up a land slot. That takes up my 36th land slot that I was looking to play for these colors, and that was one of the reasons I was cool with going down to 35. Actually, it was the reason I was cool with going to 35. The Unhallowed Pact. I feel like this is going to be underwhelming because I don't have a lot of creatures that enter the battlefield and do stuff. I'm trying to look at something, and I don't really see anything unless I kick the Josu Vest. So this is kind of just like, oh, just whatever. Hey, this is not the first deck I've built without a Sol Ring. I do have a Niv Mizzet Reborn, and I can't play a Sol Ring in this deck because it doesn't have 2 colors. And yes, I am that stingy of a person where if the deck says so, I'm not going to do it. But, Darren, I like where your head is at. Now, this next one is also a really good one because it falls under the same category as the Forgotten Ancient. Managorger Hydra, a trampler that whenever someone casts something, he gets big. The Mimeoplasm will just get a 1/1 counter every single spell cast over and over and over again, but the Forgotten Ancient does not have trample, while the Managorger does. The Forgotten Ancient, though, I can move those 1/1 counters from Forgotten Ancient to other creatures. He thought, what shelf was it? Oh, he thought this shelf was a... it generates a lot of happiness for me, Kadari. It has 17 commander decks on it. 18. It's where I go to whenever I'm looking to build a deck. It's my first idea of doing stuff. Now, on the whole sack outlet premise, I do have this Midnight Reaper. It's going to help me draw spells whenever I sacrifice, whenever a non-token creature I control dies. Yeah, I take a damage from it, but it's a draw spell for things of which I'm already looking to be getting rid of. It's not an easy thing to just say no to. Yes, Forgotten Ancient does do exactly that, and it also does help me with like other creatures that do well with being really big. I don't think I have anything in this deck besides my commander, but if I have the Forgotten Ancient out just off to the side slowly getting counters and I cast a Mimeoplasm, that Mimeoplasm is just going to be really, really big. Like, at the beginning of my upkeep, I have to do it. So I have to live a turn with a really, really big Forgotten Ancient and the Mimeoplasm out. Darren, I highly agree with that. I have a lot of commander decks as well, and I should be getting my own shelf for them. Voracious Vermin. I feel like this is going to be something that's cut because when it enters, I get a 1/1 black rat that can't block. But I did like the whenever another creature you control dies, I can put a 1/1 counter on him. He's just so underwhelming, I'm just going to cut him off rip because when I first started building the deck, I was doing a lot more sacking and a lot more other stuff, and him getting bigger from it was going to be nice, but I don't see him doing things enough for me. Now, I need your guys' help with this one. Urg, Spawn of Turd. His power is equal to the number of lands in my graveyard. It's unlikely for me to have a lot in there, but it's not anything that's incapable of happening because his bottom ability says black and a green, sack a land, gain 2 life. That gain right there is definitely something I shouldn't ignore. I've definitely won games because I gained an incidental 1 or 2 life here or there, and it just barely got me there. But the sentence on here I'm looking at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. If I have CDC on the field, this could draw me this could get me a dude. This could put a land in my yard to help Urg get bigger, or the Mimeoplasm if he copies Urg. Well, I'm sorry, Dragonborn. We're almost through here through the pile to see how much we've got cut. We're about halfway done, and it's getting close. But I'm not 100% sure about the Urg, though. It's kind of just okay. Like, I'm gonna put it over here because the milling is kind of nice, but it's only 1 at a time during my upkeep, and I may want to draw that. It does help me ghetto scry during that time to help me get the things that I want, but I really can't say much about it. Here we go, Ulvenwald Mysteries. I think this one might also get cut because it says whenever another non-token dies. But Urg in the maybe pile. You're right, Mike. The Urg Horizon Chimera, yeah, that would actually be a very good combo right there between the two of them to help it, but I don't really see it. But I don't really see it happening exclusively well with the other things that I have here. The Elvenwald Mysteries, I'm pretty sure, is going to get cut because not a lot of non-token creatures are going to be dying of mine, and it gives me a clue. Like, don't get me wrong, the clue is going to be nice to draw me a card and get me a 1/1 white soldier. I'm going to put this in the maybe pile because I'm not seeing it very well here. I could be very wrong, but I do need to cut 20 cards, and I'm not at 20 cards yet. Now, this Sirach Elusive Hunter, you guys have already talked to me heavily about Orcish Bowmasters being the reason I shouldn't be playing this, but I don't see Orcish Bowmasters as much as people think that I do. Orcish Bowmasters is usually in a power 4 game, and I really don't think that it's going to be something that I'm going to be heavily worried about. And whenever my opponents try to touch my creatures, like, I can tell you right now, if my friends are my friends, and I copy Skithrix with the Mimeoplasm, I'm not keeping him. So, drawing a card sounds like the second best option there. That was one of the major reasons that I took this. I didn't take that Keru Goldkeeper for that reason, but I feel like I underplayed that because you guys, a very coercive bunch of people. Here's another auto-include, the Thrashing Brontodon. It's a sack outlet, it's 3/1 counters for the Mimeoplasm, or worst comes to worst, if I need to cast the Mimeoplasm to copy him to be able to destroy something to win the game, I definitely don't. I'm usually talking about the card that's in my hand. The last one was Sirach Elusive Hunter, this one's Thrashing Brontodon. How much draw did you end up with? I have 1, 2, 3. Does the Season of Weaving say draw? Season of Weaving does say draw, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 different cards here that say draw a card on it, or definitely. Oh, Urg would be an easy way to get it lethal on a skill copying Mimeo. How would Urg be like that? Because it just says gaining life and doing stuff. I could be wrong about that. Here's another card that I liked. This Jewel Thief, a 3/3 Vigilance Trample, enters the battlefield, gives me a treasure. This is one of those ramp pieces that I only get to use the treasure once, but it does help me out just a tiny bit with the treasure token. It's also got Vigilance and Trample. Now that I look at it, I don't have very many pirates in this deck. So this Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator, besides him being a 2/2 flyer that can consistently get me a treasure, I'm not. Oh, Mike, that is the exact reason why he's in the maybe board, because he can be really big. Yeah, the Malcolm's getting cut because I don't play a lot of pirates in here, and it's basically, other than a 2/2 flyer that gets me a treasure, it's kind of just okay. Alright, let's go through the 2-drops, because I got a bunch here. Now I'm going to make this first one obvious. I'm just going to leave this Finale of Devastation here, because it's a Finale of Green. This is going to win a lot of my games. It's going to come out, it's going to do the thing, it's going to be the big dumb. I'm just going to leave it right here because that is what Finale of Green does. It also gets me whatever creature I'm looking for at the exact moment in time that I'm looking for it. The other card that's going to win me a game is Exsanguinate. I may have a lot of mana here and there. This is definitely the 2 in the 2-drops that I'm going to be keeping just off rip. Very difficult for you guys to be able to say anything otherwise. Now this is going to be one, I don't have a lot of ways to abuse this. I don't have, outside of Jalira, I don't see this card doing the work that I've seen. Yeah, I know Finale is only a 2-drop in a technical sense, and I do not have a Dryad Arbor, I think it's called. I did not pull one from Future Sight, or I didn't even open a Future Sight. But I'm pretty sure this Hidden Strengths is going to get cut. The reason why I kept it is because of the word Cipher. I'm going to be more than likely getting in on whatever it, and it taps and untaps stuff. So it could give me a good blocker, it could get rid of something of an opponent's that I have a problem with, but more than likely I'm just going to be cutting it because it's not doing enough. That's really why I'm just going to be putting it over there. I have Finale for a Dryad Arbor, the 1/1 land creature, the Forest Dryad. I've done that. I haven't done an Ornithopter yet, but like, I can't see someone effectively tutoring up an Ornithopter with Finale of Green and it being whatnot. Finale for Kobolds of Clear Keep, that's called a power move. I highly recommend it. Altar's Reap, sack outlet, draw 2 cards, put something in my yard, draw cards, make the Mimeoplasm do the thing. This is one of those draw spells that we were talking about. I'm not going to just pass up. Anticipate is in the same area. I'm going to be... Strings is better if you have a cheap evasive creatures. I don't have a bunch of cheap evasive creatures. I do have the Spectral Sailor. It's a 1/1 flyer, but it's more of a draw spell on a creature. 3 mana and a blue, draw a card. Just a bunch of drawing with it. Anticipate is going to be one of those other draw spells that I'm just going to keep in because it does the thing for me. A colorless and a blue looks at the top 3, I get something out of those. Alright. My Ghetto counter spells. So I have the regular counter spell. This is going to be easy. Just right there. I do have Nullify. This counters a creature or an aura. This basically counters a creature spell for the Mimeoplasm. I'm kind of iffy on it for that reason. Like, I can't get... Usually instant and sorceries are the thing that I'm going to have a big problem with because that's what instant and sorceries do. Now, the only auras I could really think of, Darksteel Mutation. What's that thing that turns it into a forest? Imprisoned in the Moon. Those are all good auras that I can get rid of, but I feel like the Nullify isn't going to do enough for me. I'm going to put that over here because of that reason. Because I also have a Narset's Reversal. Copy target instant or sorcery, return it to its owner's hand, and then I can cast the new one. I can choose new targets for the copy. This just is... Bing! Put that away. Okay, even if I do counter their commander, what are the chances they're putting their commander in the graveyard for me to copy with the Mimeoplasm? That's what I thought, Mike. I'm keeping the Reversal. I'm not keeping the Nullify because the counterspell does the same thing, and that's what I'm hoping for. So, now with the next card, Lost in the Maze, it's got Flash, X and 2 blue. When it enters, tap X target creatures. This could, like, at the end of someone's turn, I could leave up 7 mana, make someone think I'm playing a Cyclonic Rift. I don't have a Rift in here. But this could tap down a bunch of creatures, and then win me the game afterwards, because those creatures are tapped for an extra turn. I'm not 100% sure about it is the thing. I haven't seen it. I guess this was the very first time I've ever seen this card. That's really the only thing I have to say about it because it's kind of just... I just haven't seen it. Really all I can say. I should keep the Lost in the Maze? Alright. Alright, now I got a couple of more removal. Grasp of Darkness. Target creature gets -4 or -4. This gets past Indestructible, and that's not something you can really just ignore because this thing is definitely going to be something nice. 2 black is going to be the difficult part here, but yeah, it's going to be bing bada boom. I do like it. Now the other one, this one's going to be much nicer for my commander because it fights something. Coven, choose target creature you control and target creature you don't. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, I'm very likely to have 3 different creatures with different powers. Yeah, Jamie, I'm like, the Lost in the Maze can win me the game, that's why I put it over here. Put a 1/1 counter on those creatures and then they fight. So this gets me an extra 1/1 counter on my commander, on whatever creature I'm choosing to fight with something. So this is another kill spell, that's the thing. It's like, do I keep the duel for dominance? Do I keep the Grasp of Darkness? Do I keep both? Or do I just keep one of them? That's the real question for me there. One of them gets -4, -4. The Grasp of Darkness gets past indestructible, while the Duel for Dominance doesn't. Talisman of Black and Green. I don't need to explain myself. 2-drop ramp, please. Please and thank you. Here's a card that I know I'm going to be cutting. Lithoform Blight. Yeah, it does say the word draw a card on it, and I'm a big fan of it, but I don't like what little it does to other things. Yeah, it could make my land tap for colorless or get any color I want. I just feel like I'm going to be hurt more than it helps. Yeah, double black is a concern, but you know, double blue is also a concern, and you guys did not hesitate at the counterspell, or the Narset Reversal, or the Lost in the Maze, or the Polymorphous Jest, or the Sink into Stupor. There's a lot of double blue here that just seems just like plain old, yeah. Cut the Lithoform Blight, not doing enough. Ordeal of Thassa. This was one of the cards that says draw on it, and it gets me 1/1 counters. Draw 2 cards, gets 3 1/1 counters. I could play it, swing, get 1/1 counter on it, draw 2 cards, all for 2 mana. I like this card. I've always liked the Ordeals. They're just underwhelming because they're only really doing for... I can add as many basic lands as I want to the deck, Mike. I don't have a lot of non-basics. Actually, I have 1 non-basic land that has... I have 2 non-basic lands with black. 1 that doesn't have blue. The blue is easy. I only have 1 that doesn't have... that only has... I have 2 that have black. So you might be right there, but we're going to take the chance at the Grasp because it's so good. The Ordeal of Thassa, I like this. Now, Kadari, my opponent's Cradle, I have 1 friend in my friend group who has a Gaia's Cradle, and he doesn't abuse it, and it's not likely for me to play a game with bracket 2 and someone pull out a Gaia's Cradle without them being the problem at that exact point, and them making the game just unfun for everyone else. I don't want to be a part of that kind of game, but I can't always win those arguments there. The next card is Cryptolith Rite. All of my dudes now just become dorks to help me with my game plan. I really like it. I don't think you guys have an argument with me here. And I'm okay playing a few more swamps than anything because I have a Skithrix, I have Midnight Reaper, I have Soul Shatter, Geth's Bane of Contracts, I have an Exsanguinate, Entomb, Sam's Desperate Rituals, Witch's Cauldron. I do have cards with black in them that I know that you guys are going to want me to play, especially this Dauthi Voidwalker. Now, I need you guys to talk me, like, I think I might be cutting the Dauthi Voidwalker because it gets rid of my opponent's creatures. It's going to get rid of them, and I'm not going to be able to take them with the Mimeoplasm. I feel like this is going to hurt me more than help me in this deck. What do you guys think about the Dauthi Voidwalker? Because other than that, my commander having Shadow, that's not going to be something I should scoff at. Shadow on my commander is... it's like horsemanship. Except a bunch of... Jamie, you say cut? Why do you say cut to the Dauthi Voidwalker? I would like to know that. But other than... but if I move past that, You can. I know I can sack Dothy. It's just I don't. Do I have any other graveyard hate? I do not have any other. I don't believe I have any other graveyard hate besides that because nothing came my way. No Tormod's Crypts. I don't think that there was a creature good enough to really state to take it. But I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile because I could use some things for other options. A stock outlet, Bloodthrone Vampire, sack a creature, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. I don't really see it being used. I don't really see it being abusive in some way. I don't have cards that say whenever a creature dies, do cool thing. It's good for the scenarios where your commander is costing 10, plus you don't need to use your commander to take their creature since you take it with the Dothy. Darren, you bring up a good idea. That is very, very good idea. I don't like this Bloodthrone Vampire. I do have the sack outlet there or whatnot, but I'm still going to keep the Dothy in the maybe pile because it exiles stuff. It's a great card. It's the exiling creatures part that I have the problem with, and that gives me a little bit of a sad tingle. Asylum Visitor. Now, it's unlikely for me to madness this, but there's a very capable chance that I get to draw extra cards and lose life with it. And it's a 2-drop with 3 1/1 counters for my commander. I don't see it being very good. I also don't see it being as bad as I'm genuinely thinking of at this exact moment because it's a 3/1 for 2. The next card, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be keeping this because I'm going to be having a lot of creatures in the yard, and Oversold Cemetery is going to allow me to continue to play stuff to help me move forward. Whenever I sacrifice creatures during my upkeep with Marchon, if I have at least 4 creatures in my yard, Marchon will trigger, Oversold Cemetery will trigger, I will get a creature back, then I'll sacrifice a creature to Marchon to be able to untap it. I really like the synergy there, and Oversold Cemetery is just going to be too good for this moment. Dawntreader Elk, go out to my boy Custard. It was the best card in the pack anyways, but this is some of the best mana fixing outside of Stee that I know of, Sakura Tribuilder. Every single time that he plays it, he abuses it. Yeah, it's 1 extra mana, but I'm going to love it for that exact reason because I didn't exile it before because he kept abusing it. And I thought it was underwhelming. I've lost to it. I'm looking to win with it here. Canker Bloom is another sack outlet that helps me get rid of things or put 1/1 counters on just about everything, provided that they have 1/1 counters already. The Proliferate is just an awesome trigger. I don't have a lot of enter the battlefield triggers. How do you guys feel about this Nezumi Prowler? When it enters the battlefield, target creature gains Death Touch and Lifelink. Now, with an Ninjutsu, an untapped blocker, I could give them Mimeoplasm, Death Touch, and Lifelink to be able to make a bunch of life. To get a bunch of life back to help me move back and forth, and greatly enjoy that, but I feel like it's just going to be underwhelming. This was one of the few cards in that pack that I just had. It didn't seem as good as I thought it was going to be. I'm going to put it over here, but I could be wrong. Now, this one is going... You think to keep on the Prowler? Man, I'm going to take your advice for it, but we'll see where we are at the end. We could be close to 20 cards here. I know the Prowler feels weak. I do need to have spots, and I probably have hit that 20 card part. My deck does not force discarding, so I don't see that the Asylum Visitor is going to be that good. So if I had to have a 3/1 for 2 mana that does stuff, the Nezumi Prowler is going to do a little bit more because it does guarantee the lifelink while this does not guarantee the card draw. So I'm going to have to listen to you on that. Satyr Wayfinder, this is just going to be awesome. I'm going to get a land from among them to my hand to help me consistently get my mana drops, and I put the rest into the graveyard for my commander to be able to copy. Too good of an option to say no to. It's, You know, Kadari, you're really smart. You're really smart with that thought process. I even thought about that too, returning my commander to my hand. But the thing that the Mimeoplasm may be too good to just say no to. Now, here's another mana dork that I don't think people give enough recognition. Heart Warden is so good. It's a 2-drop. It only adds 1 green to your pool, but you can sacrifice it to draw a card. I've always really liked it. I play it in my Yadora Gravegardener deck, mono green combo, and it does work every single time I play it. Every single time. My friends tend to not get rid of it because it's underwhelming, but then when they lose to it, they just smack their lips and go, should have gotten rid of it. Ugh. Sita Varma Masked Racer. I'm really looking forward to playing this because when I read her at first, I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Green and a blue for a 2/3 with exhaust, so I only get to activate this effect once. Put X-1 counters on her, then I may have base power toughness of each other creature I control become equal to her power. The Mimeoplasm is going to have a bunch of tokens on her. Skithrix could be turned into a 11/11 player removal in just one swing. I do only get the effect once, so I have to be careful with it. But if I copy it with the Mimeoplasm, I'm just putting extra 1/1 counters on it. Mike, I'm going to think about that because I am going to be... It looks like I've already cut 20 cards from here, and I'm going to need to be putting cards back. But I'm pretty sure you guys may be able to coerce me into some cards out of the draft chaff, depending on what we're looking at. And if you guys remember, if I pulled it, I'm pretty sure this, as cool as the Starfish is, it's going to get cut. 0 power, it's not going to do anything for me. It just scries me 1 every turn because who's going to get rid of the Starfish outside of a board wipe? The scrying 1 was going to be nice, but if it said Surveil 1 like the black Starfish, it'd be much more likely for me to keep, so I'm just going to put this over here in the cuts. And then, I like this last guy, this Meyer Boa. It's got Swamp Walk. A lot of people play black. It is very unlikely for people to not play black, and it's got Regenerate. I feel like it's a little underwhelming, so it's going to come over here in the maybe pile, only because it's a 2/1 with Swamp Walk that can just give itself back its life. And I don't think that that's just enough for me to be able to state I should be playing this. Now let's go to our 1-drops. I'm probably not going to be keeping I'm probably going to be keeping all but one of these, but let's go through it. So Sam's Desperate Rescue. The chances of me getting to 4 triggers of the ring is very unlikely. I need to take the Repository Scab over and over again and get this back to get other creatures back. It's very unlikely to happen, but it'd be really funny if it did. Other than that, this brings me a creature back from the graveyard that I'd like to use and not just lose to the Mimeoplasm. I could use it more than once, and I definitely see that that's going to be a good possibility for what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to leave this over here. I could be wrong about that because it returns it to hand, but it's a 1-drop that puts a creature back into my hand from the yard. Next, to use the Sam's Desperate Ritual, you kind of need to have creatures in your graveyard. And this Entomb, look at how beautiful it is. Look at that full art gorgeousness. I had to choose it. I'm putting stuff in the yard. This puts me Marshon in the graveyard to help me copy it with the Mimeoplasm and just utterly remove my friends, because that's what I'm hoping to do. My number 1 thing is to get the Marshon out and remove my friends with it, because it's such a bad card. March of Swirling Mist, I don't think I need to explain as to why I want to keep this, but I'm going to. It phases creatures out. Phasing happens at the beginning of your untap step. You can't respond to it. Things phase in, you untap, you upkeep, and you draw. So when you use this alright, that's a problem, 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 that's a problem. Get rid of them. I don't want to see them anymore. I'm going to leave that right there. It is too good of a card to say no to. Opt. Scry 1, draw a card. I wish it said Surveil 1, draw a card, but I can't win them all. This is one of the few draw spells I have in the deck. This is basically my deck's Sol Ring, because I don't have... Actually, the next card I'm going to show you is basically it, but I like it because it has the word draw a card on it, and drawing cards is one of my favorite things to do. Also, I don't have a lot of consistent draw spells outside of Rhystic Study, so I'm going to keep it going. Now, my Ghetto Sol Ring, Font of Fertility, it's not, but it's a 1-drop that goes and gets me mana. It's the best I could do about that, but it does put the land onto the battlefield, which is not something I can argue with, especially because the only other creature that does the same thing is Dawntreder Elk. Otherwise, I have Mana Rocks, I have a way to turn all of my creatures into dorks, and then my Heart Warden taps for green. So getting that basic with the Font of Fertility is not something I should just straight up ignore. It is just a great card, and I like it for those reasons. Now, here's another sack outlet I'm really happy to be playing, this Witch's Cauldron. It draws me cards, it gains me life. It's going to be, yes, the font does fix, and that's exactly the reason I'm going to be playing it. Seth Martin, I actually did just give that idea out in the event that I took out too many cards, which I'm thinking I may be at that point where it does the thing. So yes, the font does fix, so I am going to be keeping it. For that reason, it is too good to pass up. I really like it. Now, this is probably the last 1-drop that I'm really going to like from here, the Spectral Sailor. It's a 1-drop, 1/1 flyer. That's not the part I'm looking at. It's the 3 colorless blue, draw a card. This is going to be a card that's going to draw me a bunch of cards. I have to spend 4 mana into it, I know. But if I have a bunch of untapped dudes with the Cryptolith Rite out, or when I do, this is going to draw me a bunch of cards. The Ozolith would be a great card, Seth. I'd have to look for it. I do know that I did take it out of the chaff, but I wouldn't want... The Ozolith wouldn't be one of the first choices that I choose because it's just a generic good card, while other cards would be more fun to play. And I'm looking for more fun than I am just looking for good. And I have other decks with the Ozolith in it. It's one of the first things that gets destroyed. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And then my last card is this Eidolon of Philosophy. I had to draft something from this pack. It was the only thing in my color that could see things. 7 mana to draw 3 cards. I'm just going to start off with no thank you. I'm good. I'm completely fine. Now that we have a good idea of what the deck's going to look like, let's see how many cards I have cut here to see if I'm at that 20 mark that we were originally looking for from the first look through. I'm going to tell you, this looks like 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at that, boys. We got 20, technically 3 cards we have cut. So on this maybe board right here with the Urg, the Dauthi, and the Meyer Boa, I have this box right here, this box right here, and, well, you guys can't see it. I have this Aftermath box, this Wilds of Eldraine box, and this white box. This is all of my draft chaff from this challenge. Now, one of these has packs 1 through 40, one has packs 41 through 80, and then this last one has 81 through 99. I have cut the 20 cards that are important. I have these 3 maybe boards. Like, the Dauthi is cool. Dauthi is good enough to include. Okay, so let's go this here. Now I have the Meyer Boa and the Urg Spawn of Turd. I know one card here that you guys were upset with me for not taking, is I'm going to come into the back here, was this Keru Goldkeeper. You guys had spoken very highly against me for not choosing this in the first place, and I'm going to have to agree with you. This is going to be one of the 2 cards that I choose from the chaff to be able to build my deck, and I think it's going to do me work. Plus, I wanted to keep the uncommon to uncommon idea, or whatnot. Is there anything from any of the 99 packs that you guys can remember? Maybe the idea, the area of where I could take one other card from all of the chaff and put into the deck to help me get there. Yes, there's a lot of possibilities, but what is something that I'm missing from here that I could really use? I'm going to give you guys a moment to think about it. Galta may be a good include. Ooh, the 12/12 that costs less. I mean, that's 12/1/1 counter, Seth. That's a very good idea. Jamie, is it Pixie? PXY? Mike? Do you guys have any other ideas from the past 99 packs that I could do? Because this one with the creature leaving, one or more cards leaving your graveyard, creative treasure, I skipped right past it because I didn't think it was going to be that good, and you guys made sure that I got the call out. And when we come up with my last card here, Darren, you're pretty big on that 3/2 flying trample. So I need to find the Gelta? I'm going to tell you right now. I don't remember what part of this I pulled the Gelta, but let's look. Witherbloom Apprentice? No. Galta. I do remember seeing it in like the back of a pack. Let's see if I can find it pretty fast. I don't expect you guys for me to want to watch me go through all of these packs, but you know, I gotta find it somewhere. And I would like to say later on, with all of these boxes right here that I have, hey look, that Narset you guys originally wanted me to pick. I'm not taking the Narset. I'm not going to be that guy to these people. Plus, I don't have a wheel for it to be really good. So, I'm just going to go right past it. Let's find that Galta. Nope. Galta, Galta, where is the Galta? Jet Medallion. Hermit. Mahadi, Corlessa. You think the 40 to 80 pack area? You're probably right. So I'm going to open up that box. It's this one. I remember the Wilds of Eldraine being filled first because the 40 to 80 pack had the Field of the Dead. I remember you guys saying something about that, but I don't have enough lands in this deck to state I should be building this. So let's look through here. Yes, I know I'm just plowing through all of these cards, but when I look through stuff, I'm just looking through for the cards of which that we've been talking about, and I'm not going to try to look for other cards because I just don't. I'm looking for a Galta. Really, really, really big green creature. Hey, look, upside down cards. Yes, make fun of me. Upside down magic cards in my pack. Hey, look, a Geralf the Fleshwright. I was doing so much work with him in a game the other night. Professor Onyx is a fun one too. I was doing so much with the Geralf the Fleshwright. All of those tokens that he produces, I feel like are very overpowered because they all turn into it's a 2/2, then it's a 3/3, then it's a 4/4, then it's a 5/5, provided you can keep making spells. So like a Spellslinger deck, that card does work. Hey look, a Mind Crank. I remember my homie looking at me saying, why didn't you even look at the Mind Crank? It's not that I didn't look at it, it's just it didn't give me the goods that I was expecting to. Village Rites may be good, but I'm taking a creature out for a creature in a deck that wants creatures. And I've already left it, so unless I'm wrong, like I know I pulled 2 Galtas in this challenge. So there's one here, and then there's probably one in the first box as well, because I remember seeing it and I'm like, this card would be excellent to play. But I'm not playing green. I was playing Grixis, which is red, blue, and black. Where are you, big boy? You know, I think I'm just going to start turning it around and start looking at the symbol to see if it's gold or not, which I'm about to start doing. So let's do this. Put this away. I'm looking for the rare slot. Come on, man. There's so many cards in here. So apparently 99 packs of cards don't fit too well into fat packs and something else, so it's not easy pulling them all out. I'm looking for the rare symbol. Laboratory Maniac, Predator Ooze. Well, y'all have the memory of hell. I would not remember a single card that wasn't selected 50 episodes ago. I barely remember some of these cards too. I do remember I did get a I did pull more than one Galta in this challenge is the thing. I do remember that. It's where is the Galta? I can't really help you on that. Hey look, a foil island. So pretty. You know that all of my collector boosters for this challenge were basically doo-doo? Everyone kept telling me to get more collector boosters, but hey look, the Galta. You know, thank you, Jamie, for saying the 40 to 80 area, because it was there. Alright, boys. Let's put all this away. I'm going to switch out this Meyer Boa for this Keru Goldkeeper in the 4-drop slot. This guy can go away. Put this Galta for the Urg Spawn of Turg. And, gentlemen, we have gotten there. And now that we are here, I will be doing the lands and mana by myself. I wanted your guys' opinion on the important stuff. And now that I have it, yeah, the Commander Masters Galta is one of them. I think I have an original set one in the 1 through 40 area, but it doesn't matter. I did find the Galta, and we are here. He's also a 2-drop 12/12 or 12/1/1 counters for the Mimeoplasm. Gentlemen, I'd like to greet, and ladies, I know Tanaka Ray is the biggest lady here. I'd like to thank all of you for helping me build this, and for all of you who are here and noticed, I do remember saying something about this unstable harmonics. I know that you guys are looking for this. I know that this is something of which you guys are hoping for. So, in chat, please write down the name Unstable Harmonics. Don't type anything else. Type the name of the card. I'm going to put up a randomizer on the internet. I'm going to make sure that my system can see it, and to whoever wins it from the 13 people that are here. Now, if you're one of my homies and you're here and you're watching and you're doing the thing, and what, non-binary? Bro, don't even play with me like that. We both know where you stand. Pixie, I'm happy for you. I'm glad to know that you're a lady. So, for the people who are here for the Unstable Harmonics, put your name in the chat. I'm going to be looking up a randomizer to be able to randomize it and give to one of you guys. You guys have heard it 500 followers ago that I've tried to give this away, and those people were not here for it. So, seeing as you guys are here, hey Grim, welcome back. I'd like to give it to one of you guys because you guys actually showed up, and that means, it genuinely does mean a crap ton for me. And an hour and a half into this stream, this is the second deck that I built today, so give me just a moment. I want a randomizer wheel, random name picker. Okay, so Grim, the stream has been... Tanaka, I'm not going to let you live that down. I'm going to let you know that right now. If you identify as a prater, you also identify as a problem. Jamie Stevenson. Jamie Stevenson. Leave. Jamie Stevenson, Seth Martin. Jamie Stevenson, Seth Martin, Kat Martin, Roy Invincible. This is going to take me a moment to get there. I'm going to butcher your name, but Seacocksox? C-K-C-S-O-X? Seacocksox? Steve? You know, Tanaka, I'm a little upset that you put your name in here, but you know, I'm going to have to pile drive the crap out of you at work later. Gus Caminati, Pixie, Nathan, Kadari Glacier? Glace Noir. Mike B. Darren Smith. Mike B. Darren Smith. Oh, if you get it, it's for a reroll? LOL. I think that'd be kind of funny. Okay. So, I got Jamie, I got Seth, the cat, Roy, Invincible, Seacock, Steve, Tanaka, Gus. Alright. There's 13 of you here. There's been 13 people of you hanging out. So let's go to display capture. So let's go to boom. Boom. Alright, I gotta make sure I see it over here before I do anything. Get everyone down for the reroll. I just want to see it on my YouTube for a second. It's gonna take about 30 seconds for me to get there. And when I see it over here, you guys will see it. There's 13 of you, and I'm really happy for you guys to get this. So let's look at this unstable harmonics. Now that everyone's here, you can see it. I see everyone. Jamie Stevenson, Seth Martin, Kat Martin, Roy Invincible, Seacocksox. I'm sorry about your name if I butchered it horribly. Steve, I hope you sacrificed yourself for land. Tanaka, Gus Caminati, Pixie, Nathan, Kadari Glacial Noir, Mike B, and Darren Smith. I see 13 people here. I see, LOL, my name is huge. Well, it's the only one in the thing. So let's go to Shuffle. And click to spin or press Control Enter. So, guys, 3, 2, 1. There it is. Who gets it? Just barely. Roy Invincible. I'd like to thank you. You came and hung out. You are the dog, the bomb diggity. I watched it slowly creep past Mike. Now I'm going to put my Discord info into the chat. I'm going to need you to join, and we're going to talk from there so I can get your information so I can send this out to you. Alright? Alright, so let's go like this. Alright. Server settings. I want to... I'm looking to add people to here. Where the fluff is it? See, I go to invite people. It says copy, hidden, use copy button. Control C, copy. It says to do the thing, but it's not going to let me. Oh, why is this being a butthole? Okay, hold on. Why is it doing that? It usually server saying no. Hold on. Why is this being upsetty? And so I'll press invite people. Maybe because I'm rearranging. I don't know. Hold on. Why is it? Does it let me do the thing? The purple bar at the top? Oh, there it is. There you go. For anyone who has not been a part of my Discord, there is the Discord link to my Discord for the Power Drink community. We do options on playing online. A wild Kadar appeared. Roy Invincible! Hello! Okay, so I'm going to... you. Roy Invincible is, after we're done here, I'm going to hop down into a specific chat. I'm going to pull you in there. Are you capable of hopping in? Now, this is going to be the end of the stream. I really hope you guys enjoy the 99 pack challenge. This is not going to be the only one that I do. I am going to be doing others because this was a lot of fun. Also, I want to see if I can try to theme them to possibly put together an idea. So if I know that there are people who are capable of blowing thousands of dollars in one go. So if they buy a box with all 99 packs in it, they could do the whole challenge. So, oh, I love this so much. Now, if you guys want to play games here, just let us know. There's the spell table games, deck building ideas. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day. Have a great night. I greatly look forward to playing games of Magic with y'all later. Roy, I will see